Make this super cute gift in one afternoon. Sew a quilted laptop sleeve with me, then elevate it with a beautiful machine embroidered blessed patch. Perfect as a complete gift set when paired with my matching keychain and pencil case videos. Hey everyone, I'm Penny. Today I'm sewing a stylish laptop sleeve and finishing it with a machine embroidered blessed patch using my new embroidery machine, the Poolin EOC05. This video is a full sew along, so I'll walk you step by step from cutting fabric to finishing stitches. Plus, I'll show you how to integrate the embroidered piece for a polished, gift-ready look. If you want the matching keychain and pencil case, check the links in the description below. Those tutorials are perfect companions for a complete handmade gift set. So let's get started. I went to a local quilt shop and found these beautiful prints by Moda. Now the outside is going to be this lighter color, and then the inside will be the darker color. Now I could have switched it, and I may at some point put this is the front and this is the back, and then do that on the inside. We'll see how it works out. I've got some zipper tape here along with the zipper pull. This is going to be the color of embroidery that I'm going to add to the end, so be sure to stay tuned and I'll show you how I'm going to finish this off in such a beautiful customized way for my friend. And then just basic supplies. You'll need some clips, some scissors, a rotary cutter, a mat, and of course the temporary adhesive spray. As you know, this is my favorite. It doesn't gum up, it doesn't smell, it works beautifully. Now let's go ahead and get everything cut down to the right size. Now I need to determine what size to make. And this is a pretty good size computer. It's my MacBook Pro. And I'm assuming her computer is this size or maybe a little bit smaller. I'm going to allow, so let's go ahead and measure this off. And this one is 10 inches tall by 14 inches wide. And it's only about a ½ inch deep. So I'm going to go ahead and add 4 inches. So if I added 4 inches to my cut piece, let's say, then I will have this much to play with, to have the zipper up at the top to be able to insert the zipper. So I can put the laptop inside as well as seam allowances. Now the top, since this is 10, I'm going to add 3 inches to the top. We can always cut it down, but I think if I do 13 inches, where would that be? 6.5 in the middle. That gives me roughly 1.5 inches on each side to allow just for a little bit of bulk and the seam allowances. So all in all, I'm going to cut a piece, actually 4 pieces, 13 by 18. One thing I need to take into consideration is I do have a one-way print. And so I don't want it to go sideways. I just think it would look better if the zipper was on the top, that all the flowers go to the top as well. So I'm going to be cutting this direction for my wide part, 18, and then this direction for the 13. There's my 13-inch piece. Now I'm going to trim off my selvages just to get those out of the way. Okay, now I'm going to cut 18 inches wide. And I'm going to do the same on the brown, and then the batting will be slightly bigger. All right, so this is the way it's going to look. This will be the laptop sleeve on the outside. And I'm going to go ahead and trim up this brown piece for the inside. Just exactly the same way. Just making sure that my fabric is going the direction that I want it to. I'm going to go ahead and fold this in half. Then I will be able to see it just a little bit better. So now I have all 4 pieces. This is my lining, this is my outer piece, and I'm going to cut some batting that's just about an inch larger all the way around. And the next thing I'm going to do is start quilting this piece. So I'm going to lay out my batting so it's 2 pieces deep. See, I've got 2 pieces here. It's just folded in half. Just going to lay it on my board here. Then I will just lay this on top. And I just want to cut around just a little bit so that I have enough for quilting, and then I'll trim it up once it's quilted. Okay, so let's take one piece and I'm going to lay one piece of my outer fabric on top of the batting, just like that. And this is going to be the top part. It's not super fluffy, but I don't really want it super fluffy. I like it to be a little on the thin side so it won't take up so much space in your backpack. So now we'll go ahead and take our spray, our adhesive spray, and just set that down. Let's do the whole thing. You don't need a whole lot. And I'm just going to lay this on top just like that. And I'm just pressing it down. If you want to double the batting, you certainly could. This is just the weight that I prefer, but you can use a higher loft if you'd like. But since I'm going to be embroidering later on, I just felt like this weight was just going to be perfect. So now we need to decide how we're going to quilt it. Are we just going to do up and down or a cross hatch? I kind of want to do the cross hatch at a 60-degree angle just because it's for a special friend and I just think it would look so good. So we can take our ruler, and I have a 60-degree mark right there. So what I like to do is line that up to the top. I'm going to draw a line with my heat erasable pen, and this is what it is. It's friction clicker and it's erasable, but it's heat erasable, which is what I like. And I'm just going to come down through here and make my mark. Don't worry, it will come off, and make sure you know how to remove your pen marks. All right, so then I'll just probably do 2 inches in, and let's go ahead and do the same thing here on this corner. I'll line it up with the corner and I'm on my 60-degree mark. This makes the diamonds, and I really like how it turns out. I only need to make 2 marks here. All right, so you'll see I've got some going this way, and then I'll have some going this way, and that'll just look really nice. So let's go ahead and do that with the other piece. So again, on your ruler, if you have a 60-degree mark, you can do 45 if you want. It'll be more boxy. I like the diamond look, and this kind of had a little bit of a diamond look inside, so I think it'll just really enhance it. Now, when you do the crosshatch, it does take longer to sew. So if you don't mind that, which I'm just making one, so it's not going to be a big deal. All right, so try to do this with my right hand. We'll see. I'm a lefty in most things, but oddly enough, in sewing, I do cut with my right hand. Alrighty, so now we're going to go to the sewing machine and start quilting. All right, so I am going to install my quilting bar, and I have a little hole back here where it slips through, and then I can screw it tight. There we go. So now I just need to decide how many inches I would like it. And I think I'm just going to go to here. I don't even know how many that is, but I like that width. So I decided to go ahead and measure that. And that is going to be from right here, about 1.5 inches. So if I wanted it to, I could bring it out to here. I think I like the 1.5. I think that's going to look good with this particular project. Another thing I like to do is go ahead and increase my stitch length to 3 when I'm quilting. All right, so I have the cross-hatch quilting all done on both pieces. You can see it better on this side than you can on here. But once we get everything put together, this will look so elevated with this type of quilting. I did 60-degree angle, and it just creates these beautiful triangles on there. And I just thought that would be really pretty. So next, I'm going to take it over to my Poolin embroidery machine. As you know, I just purchased it and I'm having a blast with it. And I just thought it would be fun to put the word blessed right here. Now, I did find this script on Etsy, and I'll go ahead and link that below in case you want to get it too. It wasn't that expensive, $5, $6, I think. and it's perfect. The satin stitching is just a dream. So let's go ahead and we're going to get this hooped up. What I want to do is find my center in here, and I'm just going to choose one piece here. Just going to line up the pink parts and just kind of finger press it to find my center. And you can see it's right here. And we can go ahead and let's decide. I'm just going to go ahead and draw this line because this is my vertical line. This is my top because all the flowers are coming up to the top. And now I just want to decide where I want to put this. We do 4, come down 4, that might be pretty. Or let's see, 2, 3, maybe 3 to 5 here. Right there, right in between there. And here's my center line right here. And I'm going to go ahead and hoop this because the blessed is going to go this direction. And I'm just going to draw a few lines just to make sure everything is going to be lined up. Just really nice. Let's see, let's go ahead and do that center line. And one more. Okay, so I've got kind of a grid here. So when I put on the hoop, I'll know where my center is, where I want the center of that design will be. So it'll start with blessed right in here. And it'll still give me plenty of room to trim all of this off and finish the bag. So I want things to go this way, and I can decide whether I'm going to hoop it this direction or this direction. And I think I'm going to go ahead and have the blessed come from the bottom up. So let's just go ahead and flip this around. And let's pop this out. And we've got our marks right here as where we want the, yeah, here we go. This isn't quite long enough, but it's going to work to where I want it to be. So let's go ahead and fold this in half so we can find our center point. And we're going to fold it in half again. And our center point is right there. And we want to line up just like that. Okay, now let's lay this over. Actually, let's go ahead and fold in that spot and lay it on. Now we can do it one of two ways. We can go ahead and stick it in here just like this, or we can hoop this up. Just go ahead and get this in the hoop. Tighten that screw. And then we can find our markings, find our center point, and just draw a line, and then draw a line this direction. Okay, now we are going to go ahead and find our center point on our bag. So here's our center point, and I'm just going to go ahead and mark that just like that. And then I can go ahead and mark my horizontal line. And then my other horizontal line. Because I'll be kind of working with the back part here. And then we can come down and do that center line just so it all matches up. It's really not that difficult. I hope I'm not making it difficult for you to figure out. I'm just drawing my lines, making my marks on the back side. So see right here, that's where I'm going to fold. Just line everything up. Just like that. And then I'm going to put my center mark right there. I'll go ahead and spray. And then I want this mark to be right on that line. Okay, that looks good. Now let's do it on this side. We want this mark to remain on this line. Perfect. Okay, so now I'm just going to pin on this side just to hold it down. I'm going to pin down here anywhere where it's not going to get stitched. So my stitching is going to be like between here and here. And so I'm just making sure that this doesn't move, even though I've sprayed it. This is just my little security here. Okay, and then maybe on that side too. So it's away from all the stitching. Okay, so now it's nice and secure. So let's take it over to the machine and we'll go ahead and power it up, get it threaded, and select our design and go ahead and embroider it. Now I'm ready to put my hoop on. Just slide it underneath and clip it. All right, so my design is on this little spot here on this thumb drive. So I did adjust it just a bit, and I'm going to pop this in here. Got it on the config. I've selected my pattern. My pins are out of the way. Alrighty, so got it threaded. Now let's go ahead and go to embroidery. All right, we're gonna hit ready, set, go. Whoops, I forgot to put that down. Now I can hit go. So now it's all finished and I'm ready to go ahead and take it off. It should have already cut the thread. Right, and that's what we have. Now we're ready to take it off the hoop. Go ahead and remove our pins, and it did beautifully. All right, so we can remove as much of that as we want. This is the cutaway and not the tearaway. That's why I'm doing it this way. All right. Now we can iron all of our markings off and start trimming and make the bag just like we normally would. Now I'm going to go ahead and take those markings off. Just a hot iron is all it takes. One thing I really like about this design is how they designed it. I only see one thread so far that I need to snip. Just one. That means the design is amazing. Wow, very well designed. I'll give you the link below where I purchased it. It was on Etsy. Had good reviews, and I agree. So now we're just going to construct our bag as usual. I'm just going to go ahead and put this tape, this zipper tape, zipper side down, just like that. And then I want to make sure that this is the right way. So when it goes inside out, yes, then all the leaves and the flowers will be going up. So I'm going to go ahead and just clip this down. And then we'll take it to the sewing machine and stitch just right down that line. Chances are this is going to be bigger because I did quilt that. So we'll just go ahead and let it be bigger on that side. I can trim it all up in just a little bit. So now I have my zipper foot on and I'm ready to go ahead and start stitching. And so the side will be right along that zipper. So I will back stitch and I'm going to move this back to 2.5. I did clip and pin just to make sure everything stays in place. I do find that my fabric tends to slip with this presser foot for some reason. So I just have to really pay attention and stitch slowly. And it does like to push the top part, which is okay. I can adjust all that at the end. So we just want to make sure our sandwich is all in the right spot. And just go slow. I find that's the best method. Just take it slow. See, I've got a little bit right here. And mainly because I cut this the same size as the pre-quilted piece, so it will be bigger, but we can trim that up in a little bit. So just don't stress over this. We'll keep shifting it down. All right. I like my zipper foot better on the baby lock than I do this machine for some reason. I feel like it works just a little bit better. This is what I have on this one, so we'll just work with it. So you can see, I'm not going to pinch it right there. I want all of that excess to go to the end where I can successfully trim it off and nobody will know. Okay, we're just going to undo all of this. So when I quilted this piece, it did get a little bit smaller. And that's why this piece is no longer the same size. So please don't stress over that. It's exactly the way it's supposed to be. Your other option would be to cut this, the lining piece, after you've trimmed this one, and then it would be the same. I just don't do that. I just go ahead and do it this way. It seems to work. You can see my fabric is kind of getting underneath there. Go ahead and backstitch. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look just to make sure everything looks good. I did get a little off here. You can see, especially if I open this up, you're going to see that. So I'm going to fix that. I'm going to show you how to fix that. All we're going to do is come back to the to the machine and stitch in the right spot to where it lines up with this one. There's so many ways to fix all of these little discrepancies that no one will ever know. You can see it's coming. We're going to probably end up right here. There we go. And we'll back stitch. Now it'll look a whole lot more even. Yeah, that looks a lot more even. So we're going to take this to the iron this down a little bit, and then we'll put the other side on. I'm bringing this over to the iron. I'm going to go ahead and finger press this on this side. And then I'm wanting to iron this down right here, but I want to make sure there's no folds, no weird folds. So before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and iron on this side. Then I'm going to go ahead and just pull both pieces of fabric away from that zipper just ever so slightly. We don't want it to rip, but we do want it to look really nice and polished. Okay, now we're ready to put on the other part, the other side here. So we're going to put this one on first, and we want to make sure that when we flip it over, our flowers are going upward. Okay, so that's perfect. And we're going to line it up. We don't care about the lining right now. We can fix that later. Right now, we want to line up our quilted pieces with the other quilted piece. All right, so let's flip this over, and we want to make sure that when this goes this way, yeah, this is perfect. So this is the up position, and this is the up position. Now, if your fabric was not directional, it would not matter. All right, so we're going to just clip this on in. And remember, this piece is slightly bigger than the quilted piece. So now we're going to go ahead and stitch down this way, and then we'll top stitch, and really the bag's almost done. Okay, so let's stitch down the other side, and we're just going to take it nice and slow. Kind of what I'm looking at here is this is along that zipper, and then I have the right circle here where it says 4 along the edge. That's kind of what I'm looking at. So just find a spot on your machine that you can help use as a guide. Now I'm using my fingers to just lay everything down. Now we're going to go ahead and iron this part down. So we'll bring out our lining. It was such a pretty lining. I really, really like that. All right, now we're going to pull out our other quilted piece and pull on both pieces of fabric here. I don't want any weird folds under here. All right, now I'm going to take it back to the sewing machine and just top stitch down on both sides. All right, so I've got my other foot back on, and I'm just going to go ahead and top stitch on both sides, just kind of pulling on each of the layers here. Not too tight. All right, I'm going to do about 1/8 of an inch with a back stitch. Every now and then just come back and readjust so I don't have any funny folds on the underneath side. All right, so now we're going to do the same thing on this other side. All right, so at this point, I'm going to lay it all out and I'm going to trim up my lining fabric here. It's actually not too bad, but it does need just to be trimmed up so it's the same size. Now I'm not trimming over the zipper just yet, so make note of that. All right, so we're just going to trim this up. Let's do the other side. It always gets just a little wonky. That's okay. We can fix that, no problem. I think up the side, I'm just going to use my scissors because I don't want to cut into that just yet. All right, this side I think is okay. This side needs to be trimmed. Really, this is just no different than a large pencil case. It's just a little bit bigger. Now we're just going to take one of our zipper pulls. Okay, so it's going to be off just a little bit. It's okay, don't panic. We're going to take it all the way to the end and then line it back up. So now this is our open part. This will be our closed part. And it didn't mess anything up. Everything's still aligned. Okay, so we want to make sure that this is open by about 2/3, somewhere around in here, not all the way down to the end here. We don't want it coming off, but we do, you know, a good 3/4. Now we're going to take the quilted pieces. Just going to kind of lay it out like this. So we've got our quilted on one side, we've got our lining on the other. And we're just going to line all of this up. Find the quilted pieces with the zipper right here facing up. There we go. That looks good. Don't worry about this piece right here. All right. I'm going to do the same on the other, except we're going to push the zipper up. Kind of get it out of the way, and we want the tops of the quilted pieces to align. Just like that. And just give it a clip. Lay it down. And we're just going to clip all around this. And we're going to do the same for the lining part. Just lay it out. My board's almost not big enough. Now we're going to leave an opening. We can decide whether we're going to leave it at the bottom or at the side. I usually leave mine at the bottom. And that's probably good enough. So I'm not going to stitch right here. I'm going to stitch here and here all the way around. And then when I turn my bag inside out, then I'm going to put my label down here. I like to have my personalized label inside for some reason. All right, now let's just go ahead and clip. I love these little clips. I love all sizes. I've got small and medium in here. So I'm going to start here, come over here, down the bag, around, and then when I get to these bulky parts, I will go very slowly over them so I don't break my needle. Okay, now we're ready to go and sew this bag. All right, so I'm just going to do about 1/4 to a 3/8 of an inch. I think I'll do 3/8 of an inch. And I will back stitch at the beginning and at the end, just so I don't pop those stitches. Okay, so as I approach my zipper, I'm just going to make sure this is aligned. And I'm going to take it slow. And I will back stitch, just to give it a little bit more stability. And once we get over it, then we can continue on. I did feel, I don't know if you noticed that, but there was a skipped stitch. So I went ahead and back stitched just to make sure it's secure. Okay, now we're ready to go. Now we're ready to trim this all up, and let's go ahead and trim those corners as close to the corner as we can, and I usually like to trim a little bit of the bulk off of there. Let's do that the same with this other corner. And we can even go in and do a few little snips if you have really sharp scissors like these. Just don't clip in your stitches. All right, we're going to do the same on this corner and this corner. Now we're going to clip the extra off. Just toss it. And I do like to go ahead and trim in just a little bit closer, just to reduce some of that bulk. And see how close to the stitching I'm getting. Okay, now we're ready to turn this inside out. So your opening is right here in the lining. And this is why you want your zipper open, is so you can get all the way down and pull this through. I left a pretty good size opening. That's okay. Get down in those corners. If you have a point turner, that works really well. I like to see how far I can get it. And I'm just going to slip that point turner in that corner and just gently push it out. Now let's push this out just with our hands first. And my corner, I lost my corner. There it is. Okay, just gently push. We don't want to make a hole. Don't use your scissors because you will make a hole, guaranteed. Now let's pull up, just kind of go inside, push up that zipper, end there. Okay, now we're going to deal with the lining. I'm going to go in the corner, push that out, push this corner out gently. Unzip it all the way. Now we want to iron this part down. And I just like to press all the way around, just so it all lays flat. I do have a label that I'm going to slip in here, and I'm just going to fold it in half, slip it in here just like that, and clip it in. That way when she opens it up, she can remember who made this bag for her very lovingly. Now I'm going to go ahead and top stitch from here all the way down. I don't usually do just the opening. I like to start at the end and go end to end. We're almost finished here. I like to give it one more press, just a really nice press. Pull out all of these seams and just roll them out with your fingers and iron it down. And now we're ready to slip in our lining just all the way down to the bottom. And just pull out the ends as best as you can. All right, now let's zip it up. And I usually give it one more press. I just think ironing makes everything look better. I'm careful not to go around and iron on my embroidery, just in case it is polyester thread, so it could melt. Get those corners. They will have a little indentation. That's just because of the bulk. That's just how they're supposed to be. All right. And let's open it up, make sure our lining is all the way down. All right, here we go. We're going to slip it in here. Like I said, mine's a pretty good size. There we go. How cute is that? This finished out at 12 by 17, so absolutely perfect. I could have even pulled it in a little bit more if I knew what size her computer is, but you know, honestly, I'm not upset about having a little extra room. Who doesn't want extra room in their bag? So cute, easy to pull out, and it has my label right down here in the bottom. Thanks so much for sewing along with me today. I hope you're excited to use your new quilted laptop sleeve or gift it to someone special like I'm doing. If you enjoyed this project, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on the bell notifications. That way you won't miss anything that I upload in the future. Don't forget to visit sewchill.com for patterns, courses, printable resources, and bonus sewing goodies. They are designed to help you build your sewing confidence one stitch at a time. Let me know in the comments what fabric you used for your laptop sleeve and what project you'd like to see next. Until next time, grab your favorite fabric, enjoy the process, and keep creating. I'll see you in the next video.